Comic book readers, and welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
This is a live weekly comic book review show where we take the comic books of last week and then we recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think you should buy. So it's a celebration of comics, so to speak.
Yeah.
This is gonna be. We got a great show for you today.
It's gonna be great. This does not feel like it's secure, but we're gonna be.
Maybe it is.
We're
I don't
gonna
know.
be just fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
So yeah, today's episode is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show by using super chats. You can ask a question or comment here on the program, and it keeps all the riffraff out of our sponsorships, especially since even people who have offered to let us to sponsor our shows then just go away. Like they go, hey, we're really interested. And I'm like, okay, great, let's talk about it. And then I never hear from them again.
Like, you know what? Actually, I'm not interested.
Right? Or they just forget, or they have like children working for them, and they're like, I don't know, what was that on? What device did I do that on?
I mean, like, I relate to that.
What?
That's me.
Yeah. So let's jump into it. Before we do, of course, I want to say if you want to see more of this stuff, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notifications when we go live. We typically try to have at least 2 live shows here on this channel per week. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but we at least have 2 videos that come out on this channel per week.
Yeah.
So check them out. If you haven't already, and you like cons, you should check out the Tiffany edited video of our walkthrough of all 4 days of New York Comic Con this past year. It's kind of a weird show, masks and tent cities of making sure everybody's wristbanded and stuff. It was very interesting, and you get to see a glimmer of that in an idealized fashion, but it's still a fun show and a pretty honest portrayal of what the show was like.
Admittedly speaking, the masks helped out with a lot of like odors in and out of the con.
Not only that, but also, every year there's like the con crud. Everybody gets sick. Nobody.
From just regular stuff.
Yeah, just regular stuff. Just because people are just walking around coughing and touching, and instead it was actually kind of nice. It might be a normalization.
But like walking past that fish market.
Oh yeah, that was actually really nice this time around.
Pretty okay.
Yeah, yeah. When you go to the Javits, there's like a fish market.
Depending on where you park and where you come from.
That's true. So yeah, Kevin Kruger says, when the X-Men come to the MCU, will Magneto's origin be addressed? I feel like it will. I feel like part of the reason people like Magneto is because he's a Holocaust survivor. Though I heard a recommendation from somebody in the comments, I think, or when one thing or another, suggested that Magneto's grandfather, or no, that he would be Scarlet Witch's and Quicksilver's grandfather instead of their father.
Yeah.
That doesn't really answer that question, but it does at least place him at a certain age instead of trying to say that he's their father, because it's like, he would never be alive.
Yeah, then you can't do because like I feel like that element of his origin is very important.
It is.
It's very important.
Yeah, you need that more than you need him to be their father.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Rowland's first live back issues, I can't stay watch in a long time. Congrats to Sal and CBR deal, well deserved, and can't wait to read your stuff. Thank you, Brian.
I've already read it. I got a sneak peek.
You're very kind. Thank you.
It's excellent.
I'm glad you liked it. Thank you.
I actually read all of it.
Oh wow.
And because I was legitimately interested. I was like, let me treat this. Like, let me see if my interest would like wander while I was reading it.
Yeah.
And it did not.
I tried to keep it kind of like simple, but also direct. There's an article coming out very soon on CBR that I wrote, and apparently I'll be doing that theoretically on a month-to-month basis.
Yeah.
Dan V900. So how about that big Spider-Man news, huh? In the UK, they edited out the husband joke with Bonesaw. That's what we're talking about, right? Looks at the leaks. Oh no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they cut that out. That's interesting. In Spider-Man 2002, Spider-Man makes an off-color gay joke at Bonesaw's expense, which killed in 2002, but now is cancelable.
When you guys, I went somewhere very different with that, because you said like the husband joke and then Bonesaw, and so like I was thinking like Cabin in the Woods.
No, there's
like
a character named Bonesaw. He's played by Rob Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't know if you're aware.
No, I know, but like that allusion to that, because like in that movie they like. There's like that journal, and she mentions like a husband's bulge, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, is that what the joke was about? Because like then you went to Bonesaw, and I was like, oh, I could see them making a okay, never mind. I went places.
Yes,
all right?
you did.
It's like Ben showed up for a second.
Kareem Handel. This is the greatest YouTube channel in existence. Good vibes all around. Thank you, Kevin.
I feel like Kareem is going to
be disappointed.
Yeah, I think he wishes he could take that back now.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
I do appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Eddie Eckenberg, Spider-Man comics were a mistake. That's just a really very that's a strong opinion, man. I got to tell you. But we'll talk more about it. Yeah, very hot.
Hot take.
Abe Sapien just become a patron supporter for ComicPop. So here's to you guys. Thank you very much, Abe. Also wanted to share this. Peach Momoko's Demon Days is getting a Treasury edition.
Well deserved.
Meanwhile, Beta Ray Bill considers to be like the size of a postage stamp.
Hey, nothing again. Listen, I love D-dubs, but I think even D-dubs would admit like that Peach Momoko's work
Deserves a
you want to
treasure
be that
edition.
huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I want to look at all of it.
You
I want
do.
to see all the beautiful
Wanna
swooshes
pour over it.
and
Yeah.
like all the because she did all. I mean, like he did soup to nuts too. I mean,
It's
they're
true.
both. They
Except
should
for the
both,
coloring, but
they
yeah.
should both get. She did everything.
I know.
It's all painted
I
and
know,
all
yeah.
crap, and I'm just like, why are you so good?
Yeah. And thank you, Abe, for joining our Patreon and supporting us more directly. Thank you, man. And if you haven't already, you should go to patreon.com/comicpop and help us out. It doesn't really, there's not a lot of benefits, but you know what? It does help us out and it keeps us alive. So I read Nightwing number 91 from DC Comics, of course, Tom Taylor and Geraldo Borges.
Whoa.
This is a different artist from the usual.
Where's Redondo?
Yeah, Redondo had to go. He was busy. But that's okay. That happens. I understand.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
It's a pretty clever cover.
Yeah, no, I think it's really fun. So yeah, this is continuing the Wally West, Dick Grayson, former Titans team up, where they go to take down more or less like the DC's equivalent of like the Power Broker. Blockbuster has taken out a hit on Dick Grayson, and Wally West is like, I lost Dick Grayson to Rick Grayson not long ago, and that was stupid. Also, I had like a Heroes in Crisis, and let's not talk about that anymore. And so we're all looking for redemption. And so Wally just demonstrates not only how great of a Flash he is, but also how great of a friend he is, and how invaluable it is to have a speedster in your contact list.
In your pocket.
That's right. Dick and Wally have a fun adventure in South America, kick ass, take names, save the day, and ultimately ruin some more bad guys' days as it goes. It's a really fun issue. It's a really terrific kind of like simple, unessential, but still like why we read comics kind of issue. It's just a fun issue. If you like Nightwing, if you love Wally West, you're gonna love this too. So check it out. Tom Taylor, Geraldo Borges, Nightwing 91. Pick it up.
I love that Bruno Redondo picture of him. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Looks like he's wearing like a tux.
Right?
See him?
Where?
Right there, his little thumbnail.
Oh, Bruno Redondo's like caption? Yeah, wow.
Ta-da.
Yeah, good to know.
Love it.
Yeah.
Fancy.
So I read that. Ray Farr, hi ComicPop, hope you feel better. Tiffany was wondering how you feel about separating an artist from their work if they're horrible. Congratulations, Sal. Thank you.
Oh, I am feeling better, and thank you very much.
Okay.
This was because last week I get allergies pretty badly.
Yes.
Even when I'm taking allergy medicine, but I work near an area that has a lot of trees, and so when tree pollen comes a calling, it's rough.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's been a thing. But thank you. I am feeling better.
Yeah.
All right. I feel about separating an artist from their work if they're horrible.
Depending on what you mean, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it isn't. Like if you look at like Bill Cosby, for example, Bill Cosby, like I remember Jerry Seinfeld talking about it on like a talk show of some kind, where he was like, no, I think like the artist and the content should be separate. And then he like changed his mind during the commercial break, where he was like, wait, his comedy is contingent on the persona that he projected. So when that's destroyed, I think it does undo the comedy. In the case of the art, the art is there. And it's like, when you talk about like a famous painter who is also like a womanizer, does that make their painting less substantial? I think no. But at the same time, that's it's a tough call. Like if you find out that an artist is, less reputable than they projected themselves to be, and you still want to enjoy their art,
I disagree. And here's why. I think if you have a painter, let's take that example. You got a painter, right? Yeah. Depending on the subject matter and the style of painting that they do, they may like they're going to pour a lot of themselves into that.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's difficult at times to separate an artist from their work, regardless of if the artist is horrible or not, because art can be a very personal thing. It's not like you commissioned them to do something.
No.
And then there's probably, especially if you're like, I need you to paint this dog.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just portraiture work, you're probably just gonna get a painting of a dog. You know what I mean? That's probably a little different there. But if it's something that's a little more interpretational, I think that you really cannot. You cannot. They're going to put some of themselves into it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that in instances those people shouldn't be studied for future generations? I don't know. I don't think I have enough of a degree to to determine that.
It's a complicated issue, to be sure. Yeah. But I find that in today's world of meta reading, I find that like, you know, the days of observing a piece of art and not having immediate access to that person's entire biography are over. And so as a result, there is more meta absorption of art than ever before. And as a result, that has changed the way in which we absorb art. So now it's like, do I agree with that? It's not the conversation. It's more just like, I think that's where we're going, and I think that's where it is.
But I think that's like, honestly, like having like, if you're studying art and there's like an artist that's like, they don't know a lot about them, you're just kind of like, you're just trying to figure out maybe what they were saying in their painting, especially if it's not something that's like overt.
Yeah.
And so like, having that background sometimes can be super important for your understanding of the piece so that you can better interpret it.
Right.
I mean, art, of course, is subjective entirely, but the artist usually has something that they would like to say with it. Now, whether or not you get that from a piece, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about like separating an artist from their work in terms of them being paid to do something, then you find out like, oh no, I really, okay, so like, here's where like the business element comes into it, because it's like, on the one hand, you have a lot of people who are banking on an issue coming out, and it's not just that artist, because that artist is like, you know,
the writer and the inker and the colorist and the editor and the letterer,
and as long as they get paid, that's great. But I mean, that means that especially for the inker and the colorist, if you need to get someone to come in here and do that work over again, then you like that work will never be seen, and potentially the inker in particular may, or any of the colors may not match with the new artist you bring in.
That's true,
because you need to get certain inkers to ink certain artists, because it's just
complements that work.
Yeah, it's just style wise, right?
Yeah.
So like, now you've put yourself in a position where those two people, it's like, oh sure, I got compensated monetarily, but I don't get the exposure
which is really why they do it.
Yeah, which I need in order to keep getting work. But at the same time, I don't want to have, like, if that artist did something super egregious, it's like, that person should not be celebrated necessarily at all.
Right, so, but they punish the rest of everyone else is punished.
So like, once you bring in that business component, I think you open up a whole nother can of worms. But we could just do a whole show about that.
That's true.
Let's not.
That's true.
Let's not do
but
that.
I will. I'll follow it up by one more thing, which is that like, usually, you know, it is meta read, it is meta used, and I find that when a person is discovered to be like disreputable, that their work is either like ignored or suppressed. And I do find that those who agree with that artist's values also tend to overinflate their value because of their political or their personal leanings.
Yeah.
And as a result, like, you get both sides. You know, you have people who are like, that person was bad, so we're going to suppress it. And you have other people being like, I agreed with what they said or did, and so I'm going to elevate it. So like, you're not going to get, no matter what, once that happens, you're not going to get an honest interpretation of that work any longer.
Yeah.
It's just simply colored by the artist. Ivan says, love everything you do. I was rereading Hawks and Pox and makes me sad I'll never get a payoff. I won without Hickman.
Yeah. You know, what's funny is like, no matter what comes out like in the future. All right. Like, so before everybody comes to the comments, go like, actually, no, just stop. Actually, no. Right now. Just hang on a second.
Yeah.
Before you finish writing that comment. The fact is, like, regardless, I always want to add that so badly.
I know.
I do.
That's why
I thought about it too, and I was like, is that?
It's not.
All right. So regardless of Hickman's involvement or not involvement in what we got, and what we have going forward, it's still not going to be exactly what he wanted.
No.
Even if he was going to be like, that's basically what I wanted. It will not be with his words, and it will not be with his storytelling or his pacing or his beats. Like, you're never going to get exactly what he was going to do, and that's a tragedy.
Just the Araco inclusion, it must derail in some way what he wanted, because he didn't plan on that. Even if it was like, no, none of that. I don't have Mars involved in my plan. Now you have to incorporate it.
Well,
into your
plan.
It
depends. It depends on what his ending was.
Right.
It depends on what his ending was.
Yeah.
You know, and how
I think
cemented,
we all know what it was going to be.
And how cemented it is. Because like, look at like Brian K. Vaughan writing Saga. Like, he said from like day one that like
he knew how it was going to end.
He has an ending.
Right. But I've also read different artists and creators talk about how they had an ending planned, and then through the journey, they were like, they felt really conflicted by the fact that they had already cemented themselves to the ending and had told people that they had the ending already planned out.
Right.
Anyway, what'd you read?
That's a fantastic question. What did I read?
Well, Austin Cole says, woof, the main Spider-Man book has been a cocktail of status quo resets and bad ideas for ages. At least we have a dozen other Spider characters to read about, right?
I really like it being described as a cocktail.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
There's
is.
something about that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I agree.
What did I read? I read Shang-Chi number 11 in the penultimate issue for this series.
Oh.
Which is fine. Hey, no, listen.
That's right.
Listen.
You didn't expect 12, so hey, here
I didn't expect 12, and even though like I'm sure it was out there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying like I didn't expect them to even get this far. Even if we knew it was 12, I still didn't expect it to get this far. And as much as I would like more of this series, because I really enjoy Jean Luen Yang's writing.
Yes.
Is also this issue or these issues since I can't remember when we
started
the
6.
new arc. Yeah. Marcus Toe has taken over art duty. And as much as I would love to have more, I also love a story with an end.
And it's so rare that you get a satisfying end or a non-premature type end. It's
so true. So like, here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you what happens in this book.
Because it's only the 11th issue.
Because it's like you're one issue away from it ending. I will say that the 10 rings do show up.
Oh, like those 10, like the Mandarin's 10 rings?
No.
The
mystical ones, again.
From the movie?
This is, yes.
Okay.
Like, this is very much like, this is, in my opinion, a really good example of like giving the like quote unquote new reader something to read post a movie.
Yeah.
But it's well written. And like the new reader maybe isn't someone who's new to comics. The new reader is maybe someone new to the character. And I think that they very successfully, I hope, have created at least a few new fans of this character. I know I am. This is a series that I can say from like start to finish. Well, we'll see. But from start to now, it has been consistently well done, consistently good. The art did change, but it was like, here's the first volume.
But no change in quality.
No. First volume, very distinct style, gorgeous looking. Second volume, equally great looking style.
Yep.
Or like, but like a little more super heroic and really fits the tone. Initially, I thought the series was just going to be like, hey, let's watch Shang-Chi pair up with like
it's Marvel team up starring Shang-Chi.
Yeah, because it's like how else we're going to sell this book, and it you know what, they did that.
That's how we sold the first 6 issues,
right?
Yeah.
Well, no, but not even. They did like the first
4,
few, and then that actually became part of a plot,
right?
So it's just masterful storytelling, in my opinion, with just expert art throughout. And if you've been sleeping on it, you got one more issue, and then you might as well go pick up the first volume at this point.
Well, then that'll be available, I'm sure, very shortly.
Exactly. So this has been like such a delight, and like next month I'm gonna be like, oh, this is it, and I hopefully there's something new coming out. After that. But right now I'm just enjoying this, and I can't wait to see how the story finishes up.
Can I point out something that's just struck me? I was looking at the cover, and I don't know if it's color theming, where they made the title of Shang-Chi the same color as the like box around the number, but I also got this impression where it's like right before the end, it's like this colorization to say like, we're near the end. It's like a flashing enemy when you're playing an arcade game.
They do theme it, but like you can see it's a little different.
No, that's a black box around it. That's
but you see the outer box.
Is the color of the title. Okay.
Yeah, they do a little something different here.
Right.
With
I thought this was like one of those like, this is the penultimate issue. Issue 12 will be the last issue. It's like a color. It's like something to make you, to catch your eye, to make you like notice it. You know, like when you see red, you're like, like it's urgent,
and it's
or stop.
Because I might believe that too, because like the color palette for this book is great. I really love the look of this book.
Very vibrant.
It is vibrant. However, when you look at the shadows and like the inked shadows, the not only the texture that they use to create the depth, but like they look great. They're not afraid to be heavy-handed with them, and yet there's still this vibrancy to it. So just I really like this book a lot. Like I'm gonna be sad when it's gone, but like I can't wait to pick it up as like, as a
full series. Shout out to Eric Arciniega. Arciniega for their color work. They're going to be on Knights of X.
Nice.
1, 2, and 3 at least.
That's great. Great.
Yeah. You might have seen them on. Actually, I think that's Jeff Thorne's Amazing Spider-Man .bay issue.
.bay.
But yeah, Shang-Chi number 11. Check it out.
Like this book.
I read Captain America number 0. I don't know why. I'm not a big Cap booster, but I did read it. But before we do, let me talk about what Ethan Harrison says, Sal is wondering if there was any way to be notified when your articles are published each month. Love both your channels. Thank you, Ethan. And if you aren't already a fan or a subscriber, you should subscribe to both youtube.com/ComicPop and youtube.com/ComicPop Returns.
Yeah.
You'll get the whole feast of ComicPop content. But okay, so I don't know how the CBR website works.
I want to also give a quick update that apparently, Shang-Chi's relaunching as Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings with Jean Luen Young and Marcus Tao, which is great. But again, I bet they did not expect
to get more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected
which
it.
Is great. But again, guys, think about this for a second. Like in a world that I was gonna call on Spider-Man specifically, where it's like if you're not a spider character, you're probably gonna do okay, right?
Yeah, but that's not your Bat character.
Like Pat character, but it's something like the Marvel equivalent of that. Right now,
yeah, there isn't one.
But like Shang-Chi made it 12 issues,
right?
Like
in today's world,
yeah.
If it was 1992, it might have been like 30 issues, but
right.
Still.
With the cynicism of people being tired of like movies driving production and movies driving decisions, Shang-Chi made it, and so like I just want to really just hammer home the fact that it's a good quality book.
That's nice. Yeah. And it's a positive example of movie comic synergy.
Yes.
But yeah, if you want to be notified about when because I'm writing monthly articles for CBR coming up very soon. It's just gonna be one a month, so it's not a big commitment. I don't know how their website interface works in terms of subscriptions, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna post this everywhere. So if you're subscribed and you check the community tab, there'll be a link. Every new posting of the article, there'll be a link to it in the community tab. If you are on Twitter, you can see us. You can see it there. Facebook, Patreon, they're all there.
Instagram,
it'll be there.
And I bet whatever the show that
Discord, it'll be there too.
Like the off the rack that comes right after it posts, we'll also mention it.
I will also
probably
mention
drop
it there.
a link in the chat as well.
That's
for
a good point
to check out.
Yeah, that's true.
So don't worry.
You will not.
We will not let this go by.
There's no way you can miss it. Ray Farr. Whoa, Wally's the Flash again. Who are some of your favorite legacy characters? Always loved Wally so much more than Barry. Jeff Johns just cried. Yes, absolutely, man. Let me tell you, everybody misses Wally. And I like Wally a lot myself. I like Dick Grayson. He's one of my favorite legacy characters.
Yes.
But yeah, man, Barry's in another dimension being catered to for his every desire. His mom's alive in this pocket dimension that Pariah facilitated his imprisonment thereof. You'll have to read Death of the Justice League and the Dark Crisis to find out what happens to Barry. Yeah, Pariah, main villain. So you got a bone to pick with somebody. You got to talk to Josh Williamson about that.
Hate him.
Kevin Kruger, besides Morlun and Pariah, are there any characters you hate? Rogolzar, Zumbado,
Red
Ghost. I know you don't care for.
I really can literally not stand Pariah though.
Those last two characters you mentioned obviously are some of my least favorite characters in terms of villains. Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. Yay, Comic Pop. Tiffany, your Moon Knight take?
On the show or the book?
I assume
the book is really fun.
Yeah, you love the book, right?
Yeah, the show. Did the episode 4 come out yet?
Yes.
Episode 4 came out. Okay, cool.
We got to see him a little early.
Yeah, we got to see him a little early, so I've been really reticent about talking about it because I don't want to ruin anything. So I'm really still not going to try to ruin anything because not everybody gets to see everything right away, right?
No, it's true.
I get it. Episode 4, I would have really there's something that happens in episode 4, and I really would have preferred that we were given an opportunity to believe something else.
Mm-hmm.
To believe it were real.
Yeah.
But there's not even a beat of that, and that frustrates the hell out of me. I get that's a trope.
Yeah.
But it's a trope that fits this character.
But it's the only time you could actually earn the damn thing. I hear you.
I'm like, what the hell? You had the chance. You had the excuse. You can do that.
I know.
But nah.
Nah, man. Nah.
All right, anyway. Sorry.
But yeah, so Cap is number 0. I know I've been alluding to it for this long. From Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, Tochi Onyebuchi, and Mattia De Luis. This is a relaunch of the Captain America series, and I understand there's going to be a complimentary book.
Alex Ross?
Yes, it's an Alex Ross cover, which is pretty great. I don't know if I like his fire, but his Marvel covers are a curiosity for me. Alex Ross's Marvel work versus his DC work. His Marvel work is much more cartoonish, despite his realistic style, but I find that there's much more of a loose kind of superhero-y fictional reality kind of style to Alex Ross when it comes to Marvel, whereas DC, he's like, oh, and then I have to put on my A game. Like, this is real shit. I don't know what it is.
For DC, though, he's working on something where he probably has a little more time. When you're doing covers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he did so many covers for that Amazing Spider-Man series with Slott, which kills me because I feel like it kind of diminishes brand a little bit. But Captain America #0 is Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers are both Captain America. No one's a Hydra agent. Everyone's a good guy. It's the first time we're actually seeing this. Basically, Steve is like, you're Captain America too. We're both Captain America. If there can be like 17 Spider characters, we can have two Captain Americas.
Yeah, why not?
And they even make a joke about it while they're fighting Zola, where they say like, well, are you going to be the uncanny Captain America, the spectacular Captain America, the all new Captain America? Which Captain America are you going to be? And Steve, I guess, takes him seriously. And he's like, how about just Captain America? And I'm like, okay, that's fun. But yeah, you just watch, Steve and Sam team up and fight Zola in a big, classic, obvious Arnim Zola, United States of Z kind of like fight where they have to stop a rocket. Which of course is like a classic kind of trope. Captain America's like, I don't hate a lot of things in this world, but rockets are one of the things I hate the most. Because of course, like Bucky was killed on one and he was thrown in the ice during that. So, but yeah, good stuff all around. Fun issue. I enjoyed it. 36 pages for $5. Yeah, I liked it. I'm not gonna say it didn't convert me, but I will say that the art in the issue was a particular standout. Mattia De Luis, or Lulis, I should say, it had a kind of combination of like Mikhail Yanin meets Alex Ross kind of style, a little more real, a little more like but ideal. That could become from the colorist, but it was fun, and I think it's very much a return to form. Okay. This is not going. I don't think this is going to be like a subversive, cracked mirror take on the Captain America franchise, nor is it going to be like a holding up a magnifying glass to the like seedy underbelly of the American society. Like it's just a superhero book about two Captain Americas.
Okay.
And maybe like Sam's will be more about that. Like who knows? But yeah, I enjoyed it. It felt like a Captain America book.
Okay.
But I remember reading Wade and Samney's Captain America, and I was like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah.
This was cool and good, but it didn't wasn't new. It was just good.
Okay.
The art was the standout for me. Kingsport Cal, congrats, Sal, on the CBR deal. You're finally getting the recognition you deserve for all your hard work. I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope this is the beginning. Love 3000. Thanks, King. I wouldn't want to say I deserve it, but I'm trying. I'm just looking to stretch my muscles that otherwise haven't been stretched in a while. Writing's one of those things that I really am passionate about. And it's one of the first things that I found out I was decent at as a kid. And I'd always try to cultivate it and nurture it in some way. And I've fallen by the wayside as we got into more video content. And so now it's an opportunity to return to some of my roots, so to speak, and try and, try something new, see if it's worth it. If there's it could be only do the one article and they hate it, and they don't want to do it anymore. But I'm glad I got a chance to try.
You've done the one.
That's true. Scuba J, hi, I don't have time to stick around to study for exams, so good night. You too.
Thank you. Good luck with your exams.
Good luck, man. What do you got?
I also read I read Catwoman Lonely City.
Yay!
By Cliff Chung.
Yep.
And this is book 3.
Yes, the end.
No.
Or was it 4?
I'm not sure, but it's not 3.
Oh, my bad. Look at that cover.
Okay. If you're sleeping on this book, you're a fool.
Then wake up.
Because this book is a heist book, and it is way too much fun. I actually had, because I had not read issue 2, so I read issue 2 and 3 today, and great. I was so delighted with the fact that I got to read issue 3 right after reading issue 2.
Yeah.
And now I legitimately was like, and I cannot read the next one.
No.
I seriously, I don't know if maybe the first issue didn't grab me, or I was maybe feeling some fatigue at the time. I don't know what was wrong with me, because literally I was reading issue 2 and I was just oh my god, I can't wait for more. And now it is a bat ancillary.
Yeah, it's a bat adjacent series.
Batman will occasionally pop in there in a flashback.
Okay.
But like, it's the future. People are old.
Yeah.
You know?
But not like that other Batman book starring Catwoman where it's the future and people are old.
No.
This is Cliff Chang's version.
This is his version of it. And it is a heist movie book. And it is fun, and Cliff Chang's art is great.
Yeah,
and there's just some like spectacular moments with the color. He's really playing with it. He's really pushing it in certain areas where it's just, you get this really dope vibe. Characters pop up that you're like, I did not see that one coming. But it's just fun.
Did I get that sign for you?
He's definitely got, I don't know, he's got some really fun takes on characters too, because don't forget it's Black Label, so it doesn't matter.
Right, it doesn't matter, and it's in the future, so like, you can really go for it.
I really am enjoying this, and I can't wait for this to be collected. I hope it gets a hardbound edition.
It should. It's a freaking Black Label.
But like, I'd love to see what he does for the cover for that. There is a page at the beginning of this issue that is just basically all black. It's just like an intro page. It's just welcoming you to the book almost, and then in the corner, it's like her in silhouette. And it's just so good looking. It's just. Whew.
That's fun.
Just gotta tell you, like lately, a lot of the Black Label titles, even if they are about Batman, which I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, dude,
Bat Label, yay!"
Yeah, but like it's not. I'm reading other ones that aren't, but like the Black Label books have easily been some of my favorite things coming out from DC right now, and like I'm very happy for like to have them.
Nice.
I just love these explorations. I know for a lot of people, they don't really do it for them because they want the stuff that's in continuity.
Yeah,
you know, like that's a big thing for like
a lot more people are outside continuity at this point.
So I think it depends, but like. There are some good stories out there. If you're a continuity person, I get it, but there are still some really good stories out there. And a lot of it builds off of your general knowledge and understanding of these characters' personalities.
It's kind of fun. It's a payoff.
And so it's like, it's weird because you know it's not a continuity thing. And you know that whatever happens doesn't really matter. But like, it feels
then anything can happen.
Like, it feels like it works. I don't know. So I really love this series. It's just real good. Real good.
Sean Conwell, hey guys, if Marvel and DC finally got along, what would be the first crossover you'd want to see? And if you had someone in mind to write or draw it, let me tell you something. I actually saw a thread about this on Reddit. Somebody was like, if Disney bought DC, how would you want to see them integrate the DC universe into the Marvel universe? Which I was also like, what a great thought exercise. I'm gonna have to play that with the Elseworlds episode. But Tiffany, what do you think? What's the first Marvel DC crossover you'd want to see next? If they did one, if it wasn't, it was just an actual crossover.
Okay, not the one that I like, not something that's like, oh, okay, well, at least maybe they could do this.
No, this is like if they like what you'd want to see.
Yeah,
their first,
not like a pitch of like just something that like, okay, technically they'll do this maybe because it won't matter, or like something I just really want.
Yeah, just thing you want.
I don't know what I want.
All right,
what do you want?
I want a friggin' Spider-Man Batman ongoing, or at least a 12-issue maxi, written by DeMatteis, and then each issue would be actually I'd love it if I mean DeMatteis would be my natural choice, but now a Zdarsky book would actually be pretty freaking amazing. But each issue, like Life Story, would be drawn by a celebrated Batman or Spider-Man artist. So each issue would alternate between Spider-Man or Batman artists. So like you get a Bagley issue, you get like like a David Finch issue who drew both. You get like a I'm trying to think of like a prominent Batman artist that's been around for the last couple of years, but maybe Mikhail Yenin would be a really cool choice. But like each issue, because it's like that would be the most high profile book you do, so you get like the biggest artists on the book.
Can I take yours and like spin off of that?
Yeah,
I think I would like to see redemption for this because they tried this before and it was garbage. But like Batman Daredevil,
yeah,
I feel like they should do that some justice. I think there's such a good story there somewhere.
Yeah,
and if you want to have Spider-Man team up with somebody, Nightwing. I
know everybody wants to see Spider-Man.
I want to see my Spider-Man and Nightwing, and I want to see it with Bruno Redondo style.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd rather see Nightwing and Miles team up than Peter.
Okay.
But I hear you. Everybody likes Nightwing and Spider-Man. I think Bruce and Peter are on the same level, but they just don't know it. But yeah, and it was for that book, by the way. I'd want to see.
But then, like Batman can show up occasionally.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. A Batman or Spider-Man Nightwing book. I want to see Somni draw that.
Okay.
Or Bruno Redondo.
Well, I was thinking Redondo because he does so many things with motion, and you've got a character like Spider-Man who's nothing but motion.
Well, I'm sorry. What were we talking? I meant Daredevil. I meant Daredevil Batman. I'd want to see Sammy do that one.
Not Chichetto?
Chichetto would be amazing, but like it would just look like a Batman book. Like that's cool, but like the Somni thing, you get some really fun stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You get some like really neat covers that are like, what?
Yeah.
sequences as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go.
Yeah, and we gotta do something magically speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I mean, like the natural thing is to be Zatanna and Doc, or like Doc and Constantine. But like, what about Doc and Superman? Because like Superman having
hates
to deal,
magic.
He can't deal with magic.
Yep. Doctor Strange would be like, "Are you for real?" Although I would love to see Doc flirt with Zatanna.
Super sarcastic Doctor Strange dealing with
New Yorker
Boy
Doctor
Scout
Strange.
Superman.
Yeah. You're weak to magic. That's it. Yeah, but I would love to see him flirt with Zatanna and be like, "Oh, hello." She's like, "Please."
Yeah. It's like, okay.
The MD Ed says Marvel seems to treat its audience with the same contempt as the WWE. Keep up the great work, guys.
So the joke I was gonna make, by the way, of something that I was like, maybe they could do this, because it wouldn't matter and no one would care.
Yeah,
would be like Ecstatic and Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Because
just get all red.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
They're like, this doesn't mean anything to anybody.
No. Get what's his name? Gerard Way and Mike Allred to do that.
Right.
I would. Yeah. That'd be an award-winning book. I don't know if I'd want to read it, but it'd certainly be a thing.
Right.
Evan Hughes. Hey guys, love chilling the back issues. I'm from Scotland. Can you do an episode on Red Hood or Red Robin?
Thank God he didn't say, can you do a Scottish accent, because this just...
Okay. I cannot do it.
All right. No, you can't.
Matthew Terlaga, thank you very much for your support.
Wait, you didn't answer the question. Oh, that was the answer.
Oh, yeah. I cannot do it.
You're not going to do a Red Hood or Red Robin episode?
Red Hood probably one day. Red Robin less so. I don't like Red Robin. I like Tim Drake, but I don't like the Red Robin thing. I think that's stupid. No offense. Matthew Terlaga, thank you very much for your support, man, and your generosity. My God, the leaks. Ben Reilly hooking up with Madeline Pryor, Spider-Man fighting and losing to Moira. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to, I will get into that.
We'll come back to this.
We'll come back to that. Sorry about the screen.
Can we
nothing I can do about it.
No, I was going to say, could we favorite that? We'll come back.
Yeah, I'll come back. RK, Sal, I know your feelings about the round robin, but what do you think about the online campaign against Suicide Squad for having Batman in it? It had about 3,000 voters on Twitter voting out of spite. I couldn't care less about what an online poll has to say. They never work. They're never successful. They mean nothing. And, it's just an opportunity for the voiceless to feel like they have power. It's all theater. So, good for them, but they're still going to buy the book. That's the other thing is like, yeah. Plus, it's Vampire Batman returning from the dark multiverse. Like, honestly, that sounds like a fun premise to me.
Wait. Like Red Rain Batman?
Yeah.
He's from the dark multiverse?
There's a dark multiverse version of him.
But wouldn't he be a good guy then?
Right? No, it's not like the Bizarro world. Shouldn't it be bad guy? But yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna. It's not gonna do anything, especially on Twitter. B, the DC round robin thing is, I think, insulting, but also it's like an opportunity for those people to like maybe get their name out there, maybe get some traction behind their book. I know.
Sure.
I read a thing where a pair had done a pitch for a round robin thing from the previous run. They didn't get picked up, but then that team got to make a different book that they were pitched, and I'm like, cool.
If DC really wanted to give these creators a chance, which again, this is not good business acumen, but I don't care. You should be allowed to take your creative team and do like 3 black and white pages.
Right.
Like uncolored, just the art.
Yeah, but you'd have to pay for it.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't want to pay for it.
But I'm just saying, if you want to support these creators and like truly try to give them a leg up and also show the audience out there who'd be buying it what they're going to be getting into.
Yeah, because all I'm getting is a logo.
Yeah, you like. I just feel like it's just a better way to do it. But
yeah.
that means you'd have to actually have faith in what you were making and like not just doing it as a stunt.
As a stunt, which is exactly what it is.
Just putting it out there.
Yep.
I got a couple more. You want me to jump into
let's jump into a couple. Yeah.
I read Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Nexus of Nightmares.
Yes, the most dated-looking book of the last 5 years.
Well, it's supposed to. It takes place
in the past.
So
it's like, it's supposed to look like it doesn't matter.
Well, yes. Okay. This is written by Ralph Macchio with art by Ibrahim Mustafa.
Who I like, by the way.
It has a very distinct look, but it's supposed to like be Doctor Strange. First of all, is Sorcerer Supreme. Second of all, Wong is his like
manservant,
is his bodyguard and friend and servant and such, right? And it's written in a much older fashion. It doesn't feel quite as dated, but it 100% feels like and I gotta actually give them credit for this because I was thinking about it because I was like, oh yeah, you're just doing that thing because you want to have a book on the shelf that says Doctor Strange on it, right? That's like a floppy you can pick up and the comic book retailer can go, like, you could buy that one, right?
Yeah.
Because this thing 100% ticks all the boxes. We get random exposition as to where Doctor Strange came from, how like he had a car accident, how he ended up meeting the Ancient One. Like we get all that crap, right? We get some exposition about characters and magic and blah 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 blah, right? And I was like, yeah, of course you're going to do that, right? But then I was like, hey, you know what? Kudos to them because simultaneously they let him die. And they're still dealing with that in another book. And they didn't force a change.
Yeah, just for the movie.
Just for the movie. You know what I mean? Like, no. If you're like if like a comic book retailer wants to be like, hey, check this out.
Right.
Like, here's a floppy. You can pick this up. This will give you a little bit of what you saw close enough.
Yeah.
It simultaneously is about the Darkhold, which is going to be in the movie.
Yes.
It's about Nightmare, who I hypothesize is going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this feels like we're setting up for like, here are some things that you're going to probably see.
Yeah, and then it'll be a trade and you can buy it when the movie comes out.
Yeah, and like in this, Doctor Strange is having nightmares because Baron Mordo works for him. Now, here's what's interesting. Historically speaking, Nightmare is usually his own entity. He's been part of the Fear Lords, but there was a period of time where Nightmare was actually like working for Shumagorath.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And like Shumagorath is going to be in the movie.
Yeah, Giganto or whatever the hell.
Yeah, whatever they're going to call
whatever
it. Whatever
fake name.
But in this, Baron Mordo is trying to help get Nightmare out of the Nightmare realm, and I was like, Nightmare doesn't usually have an issue with that, but fine, magic.
Yeah,
I don't care. And so Strange is having nightmares about like him having his accident. Like he keeps having that dream.
Okay.
Where like he'll go to the Ancient One and then the Ancient One is just
says no.
He'll like let him in, but then like when he finds out, just like in the original story, that Mordo's going to kill him, instead of Mordo silencing him, like Strange goes to the Ancient One, is like, oh, Mordo's gonna kill. He's like, oh, you're such a jerk. Like you're trying to like slander my
pupil.
Yeah, get out. You're a horrible person. And he's
Oh.
just like, maybe I'm not changed, Wong. Maybe I haven't changed as a person. And I'm
God.
like, yeah, you're doubting yourself. Okay, just like the dark version of you, or like the nightmare version of you, or the whatever version of you will do in the movie. I don't know if they're really trying to do apples and oranges here, or like Ralph Macchio was like, let's just tell a story about Nightmare.
Yeah.
He really should be the next big bad in the film anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Instead
like
of Wanda.
I was like really came into this being a little like judgy of it.
Yeah,
Like
you
I was
were.
really like, oh, okay, like it's silly and fun, and maybe because I recently was like we were doing a back issues, and like I ended up reading a whole bunch of like rereading a whole bunch of like older stuff, and like there's just something kitschy about that, especially when it comes to Doctor Strange, because it's Doctor Strange. It just all works.
Yeah,
so
where do you think Dr. Orpheus came from?
Right, so maybe I was like primed, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for this,
for classic Strange,
right?
I think Ralph Macchio actually was one of the editors of the book you did on back issues. So
he was, but he's actually the editor of like a compilation that had that book in it, and like he tries to explain why everything's in there, and it's so hand wavy and bullshit. It doesn't matter like why the other issues are in that compilation. So I was like, I don't know, but again, like I have to give it up to them for not trying to force a change to the other ongoing book. To make it, to make it fit, so that you're not like, what's happening? Where is Doctor Strange? Like, I wanted to read about him. You know, first of all, get them a trade.
Yeah.
Get them the Oath, get them an Epic collection, get them a trade. Go get what these Phantom people are coming in, get them that.
Right.
And then I guess also pack this in with it.
There you go.
It was fun. It's old feeling. It's just a one-off little adventure. It's a one and done. So
there's no more issues after this?
This was
Oh my God, that's even more. Yeah, that's very calculated.
Yeah.
How brilliant. That's fun. Well, it's a good recommendation for you then.
Yeah, and like I said, as soon as the Darkhold showed up, I was
like, okay.
It's so amazing too, because like there's so many like old like sort of like cliches to it, or I'm just like, wait, why didn't they just do this? And I'm like, oh yeah, because who cares? Like at the end of the day, like Strange gets the Darkhold back. I'm not spoiling anything here. He puts it back in the library. It just goes in the library. It's the Darkhold.
Yeah.
He's just like, it just goes on the shelf.
Yeah.
But like this time he casts like a concealment spell on it. I'm like, you didn't do that before,
right? Well, I didn't think I had to. I got the Sanctum. It's pretty lock stock over here. Come on.
Yeah,
I guess it should be. No. Wilbert Robinson, what trades would you two recommend for those of us who trade Wade? I'm pre-ordering now, even since I missed the Far Sector trade. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, no new ones. I mean, you know, there's some good stuff, but
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, pre-order that 12-issue series.
Well, I don't know. Did they break it up, or are they only going to do it as a 12? I don't know. Check out Shang-Chi. See if there's anything there for that.
Yeah.
What else is? There's been so many things. I don't really pay attention to when trades come out.
Me
so
either.
That is not
so I
helpful
really couldn't
to you.
help you.
I am not helpful, even remotely, to you right now because I'm not usually one working on that. But hey, you know what? Maybe that's something we should pay attention to a little bit more so that we can have that ready for you on the show.
Yeah. The Fodder Box Kid. Hey guys, it's me again. Finally finishing scripting my first issue of my comic, and I've been reading Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1 and Saga Book 1 after watching some of the back issues on both of them. Well, thank you very much for your support, and congratulations on finishing up your first issue. Good luck with that. Hopefully you find yourself a great collaborator. Remember not to refer to them as your artist. Just call them your collaborator, your partner. Because they're going to come up with ideas you never even thought of. Jordan Phil, what are your favorite Captain America stories? Mine's Mark Waid's run after Heroes Were Born. The Return, loved the recent back issues. Thanks for keeping up the good work. Thank you very much. I actually just recently revisited the Captain America after Heroes Were Born, The Return with Ron Garney and Kubert, and it's great. It is a terrific series. I like the Somni run with Waid. It's very short, but it's still really great. The Brubaker run is also I love that as well. I especially enjoyed the Captain America Reborn miniseries, which was really fun. So those are a couple of recommendations for you right there.
All right.
I know there were a bunch of these, so let me jump in.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh, I think we're good then. Maybe we
never
caught it
mind.
up.
Maybe we're great.
Yeah, there's still more. we got more books. Don't worry. So yeah, I read World's Finest #2.
Okay.
That is to say, Superman World's Finest from Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Of course, Dan Mora was born to draw in this book. I mean, really, he was born to draw Once and Future, but he also then used his extra time to draw this. The first two issues are a backdoor Doom Patrol pitch from Mark Waid and Dan Mora, which I guess anyone would want to read, but this is very much like how Mark Waid remembers the Doom Patrol, and it's not subversive or, boundary pushing or anything like the Way run or the Morrison run or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do miss Darrington badly. I don't know where the hell he went, but he's great. But yeah, this is a great series. I'm only on issue 2, but it's a flashback book about Batman and Superman. They're dealing with Felix Faust. So it's all the stuff that Mark Waid remembers and wants to play with. Supergirl and Robin team up, and it's incredible looking.
Okay.
The art is second to none. Like, for as much as I enjoyed the art in issue 1, I think Dan Mora really hit his stride, and he's really nailed what he's doing with this.
Okay.
And so the art is next level on issue 2. So it's definitely worth picking up just for the art alone. I don't know. Tamara Bonvillain did the colors, and they are striking and gorgeous in this.
Is incredible. She is.
Tamara, if you're available, I'd like to have you actually color a piece for me. That's really important.
Really?
Yeah, I think she'd do a great job based on Dan Mora's pencils here.
Okay.
But yeah, gorgeous book and fun, and just everyone you get to see Mark Waid's interpretation of Superman, Batman, Niles Calder,
what?
Elastigirl, Robin, Supergirl, Robot Man, everybody. Like, it's really fun.
Yeah.
And it introduces the new, like, the main bad guy, who's a new character he created, who's like a Japanese demon ghost king emperor thing. It's fun. Like, it's just whatever. It's a
lot going on.
It's a classic story written by a classic writer who's making a triumphant, if not woefully under celebrated return to DC Comics. You should definitely read it if you like Batman, Superman, or even the Doom Patrol, because the Doom Patrol don't get a lot of play nowadays, despite them having like a fan favorite series on HBO Max.
Listen, that's okay, and here's why. Because like what makes Doom Patrols the good story so great is there was
people stay the hell away from it.
People stay the hell away from it, but also because like someone had a story to tell, and someone had a passion for that project.
Yeah, you don't want an ongoing Doom Patrol book.
That's what there are just some characters where it's like, would we like more stories about them? Sure, but like it definitely takes a special type of creator to create something worthwhile for those characters.
It's true. Mike Manhattan, have you read Astro City or Aerosmith from Image? I have Astro City. I've never read it. I've never picked it up. Just didn't appeal to me, but I should, because it's a seminal piece that I know should be a thing for in my library. Devin Lovin, certainly changing out of my work clothes. Currently changing out of my work clothes. Just wondering if Twitter was a good place for YouTube Shorts suggestions. Love everyone and all your work. Thank you very much. Actually, there's a thread going on in the community tab where I was like, throw me a link, or at least like tell me what episode, back issues, and a timestamp, and I will look for those and pull like seminal moments from back issues and make those into shorts.
Nice.
So hang on to check that out, and you can give me a recommendation there, or you can just tweet me and I'll look at it there. Tiffany, you read Wolverine number 20.
Yeah, you know me, I couldn't help myself.
Well, it's a Kubert.
It's a Kubert. So like I literally, I was actually funny because like Comixology will just lay out all the issues you read, and like I was like, oh, I read for quite a bit, and then like there's just a gap.
Yeah.
This is it's not a huge gap, but there's a gap.
Noticeable.
And I was like, you know what, though? But I read 10 Lives and 10 Deaths, so I know what he's been doing recently.
Yeah, and that might have kept you from reading more. So I'm surprised that it
not 10 Lives.
No, that's true. But
10 Lives, yeah.
Woof.
But yeah, then it's Ben Percy writing this, but it's art by Adam Kubert.
Awesome.
Which just looks fantastic.
Great to see a Kubert back in Marvel.
Right? But it looks so good. Like Kubert's just a good fit. It's just great. It's gritty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun panel layouts going on here.
Really
like
playing with it. Why?
I don't know.
What's the theme? Why the circle with
I really don't know.
Just wanted to do it.
The theme is Deadpool's in this.
I know Deadpool's in it. Yeah, I heard
and
about
like
it.
I know a lot of people were like, this really wasn't a Wolverine book, but don't worry, Deadpool already got you with that one.
Well, Deadpool didn't have a friggin' book.
Yeah,
for no reason whatsoever.
Deadpool made sure to mention that to you already because he's like, I know. You're getting irritated. I thought this was a Wolverine issue. You're huffing and puffing to yourself, ready to fire off a smarmy tweet to #X spoilers that'll get 3 likes. I was like,
damn.
Shots fired.
Yeah, and accurate shots.
Yeah, and like, by the way, not only shots fired, but he also like shoots up a bunch of CGC graded Wolverine comics. Which like you'll notice that friend Victor Bogdanovic's name is also on
good
there.
for you.
That's fun.
You got a cameo there, Vic.
But like, first of all, can we just talk about Kubert's art? Because it's like Kubert's drawing Deadpool and he's fun and it's bright and it's like lovely looking, and then you get these types of like panels of like just grim, gritty, like Wolverine skulking through a forest using just the black inks to like depict trees. There's also something really fun where they're using this fingerprint texture.
What's that?
I saw it all throughout the book.
Well, that looks like the sun is breaking through the foliage.
But they're just these fingerprints and they're all over the book, and I love them. That's love cool. This because again, it just Wolverine books get to have this feel. They're dirty feeling.
They should.
And yeah, exactly. But this book really is very much about like it's about 2 things. It's about Wolverine like wanting to go get his hand back because he like he lost a hand at one point. He has 2 now. It's fine.
Yeah.
But he's worried because he's like, you know what? Like, A, I want to get it back, revenge. B, like, you know, we've seen other organizations make almost simultaneous breakthroughs in technology as we're making. What if they then figure out the resurrection protocol of some sort? Like they already did stuff with Domino, like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to get that back and find out what's going on.
Fair.
Deadpool wants to get onto this island. And let me just tell you, I really like Percy's voice for Deadpool. It's fun. It's snarky. It is fourth wall breaking. At the very beginning of this book, it's actually Deadpool narrating about Wolverine, which is great because Deadpool clearly is infatuated with Wolverine. He's got like Wolverine like rugs and like all sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
But like he mentions that like Wolverine doesn't like being like part of a team. Like he never wanted to be part of X-Force or the X-Men or the Avengers
or Alpha Flight
or the Justice League or the Chippendales. But he can say Justice League because he's a fourth wall breaking character. And like he mentions even like how like, you know, he sells comic books, like that kind of thing, right? So like, we go through all the different ways Deadpool's try to get onto Krakoa. And then inevitably like his friend who we saw in the movie, that older woman, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
That's fine. Because it's just not gonna come to me.
No.
And the harder I try,
it's like a man's name. I'm trying to remember it.
Al. Thank you. Thanks, brain. Thank you for saying that out loud. Gives him some additional advice where it's just like, you got to make yourself less like of an ass and more of an asset. Gives him a file that she was able to scrounge up for him that like shows what is actually going on with those hands, like the hands and the body parts. And like, you got to help figure that out. And then they'll probably let you on.
Yeah.
So like Deadpool gets to a location before Wolverine. There's a bunch of like robots that are X-Men.
Okay.
So it's like a Wolverine robot.
So are they arcades?
No.
Oh.
No. There's a very different reveal at the end of this book.
Okay.
But needless to say, it looks like we're going to be getting like a Wolverine Deadpool team up, which I'm here for. And like, I will read this arc through. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
With a Kubert drawing it and Percy's voice for Deadpool, I'm in. It's Danger.
Oh, that's right. I remember that spoiler.
Yep. It's Danger.
Danger.
Danger's back.
It's great to use Danger. What's Danger's plan with the Sentinels and everything?
We don't know. It's just
she's not really a Danger, or she's not really a Sentinel, but
No, but like, well, she's part of the Danger Room. And,
yeah, she's a freaking robot.
But she's an AI as well.
Yeah,
Let's not forget that. And like, I love that they're bringing that in. Like, I think that's
like no. When I saw it, I was like, that's such a brilliant.
That's idea. So smart. It's so smart because the fact that it's like, the X-Men seem to have a really big issue with robots.
Yeah, this is the era where they hate robots.
But they always have. If you think about it,
yes, it's always been Sentinels.
It's always been robots. It's been humanity, but it's been robots, right? Like,
yeah, no, that's true.
Like, even in the cartoon, Wolverine can only kill robots. Like, I like it. I like that quite a bit.
I like that too.
Yeah, so Danger's here, but like I said, the reason to read this book, even if you're looking for a Wolverine book, and if you're a Wolverine fan, you probably were a little annoyed at this, but I think that you needed to have this, like, hey, this is going to be what I'm doing with Deadpool. This is my voice for him. This is why he's going to be part of this. And then we're going to get into it. But like, I'm really looking forward to the like interactions between these two characters and, how they're going to get through this.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt that Deadpool will be allowed
to go to Krakoa.
But maybe, I don't know.
I mean, he could, because nobody's doing anything with him, which is really weird.
All he wants is this.
Yeah.
Just wants it.
So I read Hulk number 6. Okay. I know people are really down on the series. It's from Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley. It's the last issue of this arc. Then it's moving on to another arc. I thought maybe it was like, oh, maybe they're only going to do 6 issues, which would be kind of bold and interesting. That
is such a Spawn-looking cover.
Yep. They want you to, I think they want you to think that. The idea here is that, everybody's got a Hulk. What's Hulk's Hulk? And I'm like, his name is Clue, and he was introduced in Axis. And Donny Cates like, who the fuck cares about that? How about this though?
Everybody's got a Hulk.
Everybody's got a Hulk.
That sounds like a Sesame Street song.
Everybody's got a Hulk, man, and it's true. Like, you saw Spider-Man's Hulk in this. You saw we know what Ross's Hulk is. We know what Betty's Hulk is. We know what like Amadeus Cho's Hulk is, or Rick Jones's Hulk, or Doc Samson's Hulk. Like, we've seen everyone's Hulk. How about Hulk's Hulk? And I'm like, again, we did that already. But like, again, who cares? Like, that was a different thing. He got flipped. What about that? So it's new Hulk, Hulk's Hulk. That's the big thing. And so we're exploring that and who the Betty Ross in Hulk's Bruce Banner's subconscious is. Finally, he wraps up his time in the alternate dimension where Bruce Banner is not a Hulk, and the Gamma program has been abused and used by Ross to become president of the United States, and no superheroes. And honestly, here's the thing. Like, if I were a huge Hulk fan, I'd probably hate this. I mean, I really do feel that way. Like, I'm like, I get it, Hulk fans, but I'm not a Hulk fan. Like, I'm straight up just not a Hulk fan. I like Hulk. I love Hulk as a major patch in the tapestry of the quilt that is the Marvel Universe. I think he's incredibly integral and important, and I love his character, but I don't care. Like, I'm not like, because Hulk has been so many goddamn things. Hulk's had bandoliers and shotguns. Hulk's been smart. He's been stupid. He's been 6 different characters. Like, he's been gray, and he's been a mob enforcer. Like, he's been everything.
Yeah.
He's had a spiky tongue from 2099. Like, he's been everything. I've seen every iteration of Hulk that could possibly exist. So it's like, for me, whatever. Do whatever you want. You could do anything.
Yeah.
You could make Hulk Galactus, which they do in this issue. Like, you could do anything with Hulk, and it doesn't matter, because Hulk is the most plastic character in the Marvel Universe, as it turns out. And I get it. And so when I read this, I was like, like, I had no problem reading the series, and I enjoyed every issue because it's just fun.
Right.
And I don't know if like it's insulting to Hulk fans, but I don't care. And I just enjoyed it. It's just fine. Then you see Gary Frank's art for the next cover where Hulk fights Thor. And it's like, how did you get Gary Frank to come to Marvel?
Because he used to draw this.
Yeah, but like,
it was a long time ago, but maybe
it was a long time ago.
Maybe there's a nostalgia there for him. He's just like, I'd like another try to draw on the Hulk. Like, sometimes artists want another chance.
Yeah, but he looks like a freaking dumbass. Like, he looks like RoboCop. Oh. What's funny is Gary Frank's art is like, he throws that away. There's no smash drama.
Right, so he's just doing what
he just does what he wants. I mean, they're covers.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he's
that's
just
true.
Like, I want to do what I want to do, and like maybe maybe he just likes the character. He likes drawing it. Like,
I mean,
how often does Gary Frank over at DC get to draw a character quite like the Hulk?
Never. Well, I mean, unless he stuck around long enough, because every 10 years DC tries to make a Hulk. But it's fine. I recommend it. I think it's fine. We'll do it on back issues, first 6 issues. There's no way I'm not gonna. I gotta, because it's like, what? But yeah, it's ridiculous. you know. And again, I get it. I get it, Hulk fans, but like, you know what? Like maybe this is hey, non-Hulk fans, read this. You'll probably check it out. You'll probably dig it. It reads fast too. It's a fast read. Speaking of which, I also read Love Everlasting #2, and it is also good. Elsa Chartier and Tom King.
Yeah,
it's a Substack book. I like it. I love it. It's great. I also read Rorschach finally. It gave me nightmares.
You mentioned that.
That's my recommendation for Rorschach.
That's my recommendation. It gave me nightmares.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's what we got.
So
I didn't want to go too crazy on books this week because I thought we didn't need to. Because I thought we had something else we were going to be talking about.
Well, we have to talk about the Spider-Man thing. So okay.
Yes. So
let's jump into some recommendations and then we'll talk about spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin a book that hasn't come out yet.
Right. So we're not going to ruin it for you, but we will tell you what we're going to read next week.
Yes, that's
right. Then we'll ruin it so you can get out of here.
Exactly.
But hang on for the Rex.
Yeah. So here's what's coming out this week that we think you should buy. Death of Justice League 75. Justice League 75. I have it on good authority. It's great.
I like and don't like that cover.
See, I love it. You know what it is? It's cut. So you open it.
It's a die cut. That's fine. It's a die cut. In digital, it's a little hard to read.
Yep, that's not why it's made.
No, I know. I understand that.
And they're going for a thing.
But maybe you should have done a different cover for the digital run.
Maybe. I mean, there's multiple covers for this run for this issue. So, Dark Knight Steel #6. I'm gonna read Amazing Spider-Man #1, but we'll see what happens with that. The Last Ronin from Ninja Turtles is finally coming to a conclusion.
Wow, really?
Yep, that's it. #5. So I'm gonna pick that up.
That's exciting.
Punisher #2. Gotta read that. I love the first issue.
That's right. I did read the first issue.
You did. What'd you think?
I think I liked it.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
this is with him in the hand, right?
It was with him in the hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward to that now.
It was really, really great. But yeah, so
it's easier to read when it's this big.
Right.
It's way easier to read when it's this big.
Because
everyone's gonna be like, it's not that bad. I'd be like, yeah, but I'm looking at it as a thumbnail.
As a thumbnail. And Batman Beyond, the White Knight #2. I still have to read #1, but I mean, like, I've read 2 runs of Batman by Sean Murphy. I trust him at this point.
Right.
So I'll see what's going on. I think that's it for me.
Are you gonna read Rogues #2?
Oh yeah, Rogues #2. I gotta read. I like Rogues, so I'm gonna read Rogues #2. And I don't know if I was like a huge. I don't know what impression you got from my feeling on We Have Demons, but I've read all 3 issues, and again, if you love Spawn, you should be reading this series. Like if you are like comics haven't been good since Spawn, you should read We Have Demons because I think you're gonna enjoy it. It's funny. I was actually rereading the Last Night on Earth, and it reminded me that like that was the tipping point for Scott Snyder's like epic 3-issue runs on everything. You know, like all of his books are 3 issues except for Nocterra. But it's just funny. I was like, wow, he's really going for these robust 3 issues. Right. So I just finished Night of the Ghoul, and I really enjoyed it.
Right.
By the way, if you haven't read Night of the Ghoul from Scott Snyder and Frank Avila, it's really good. But I feel like it could have stood to be another issue. You know, like you compare it to something like Witches, and it's like he took time. Like Witches, you could tell like there was love and time.
Yeah, can we talk about how like that's why like when people are like, "Don't you want a sequel?" I'm like,
no, it's perfect. It's good. We're done.
He's good.
Yeah.
Don't touch that again, Scott.
What about that other one? The one from the Image magazine?
It's the one that's just Terminator.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good. But like I'm happy.
Right.
Let's talk about some stuff. Step by Step Bloody Step #3 is coming out. This is the Cy Spurrier, Matteo Bagara. It's like it's just a wordless comic. It's great.
Yeah.
It's really lovely looking. I really like the story. Again, not for everybody. Not everyone wants to interpret art for your story, but I do, and I like the exercise. I really enjoy the exercise quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's like I don't know if I'm going to necessarily read this or not, but like I really just want to point this out. There's like something going on. We're getting more vampire comics. I mean, like the vampire comics never seem to go away.
No, they never do.
They never go away.
There's like more vampires.
Occasionally there'll be more vampires. Like we got DC vampires going out. That Jeff Lemaire's got a vampire book. Philadelphia is still coming out, I think. And then I got Bloodstained Teeth #1 by Christian Ward, who wrote Odyssey. So if you like that book, you might be interested in this. Art by Patrick Reynolds, but like I love this cover. So
great cover.
The cover alone might get me to read this.
Yeah.
At least check it out, right? At least one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm recommending this, but I'm giving you a heads up that Sabretooth #3 is coming out by Victor Laval and Leonard Kirk. they're making a big deal about him, seemingly like Sabretooth is going to be an important part of Krakoa. So like he is,
feel like that's why Jonathan got rid of him.
I feel like I need to keep up. So we're keeping up. Knights of X #1. I'm very excited for this because this is basically the return of Excalibur.
Yep.
Different name for the book. Kind of really like the logo quite a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Looking pretty good there. Written by Tini Howard with art by Bob Quinn. I don't know if I know Quinn's work, but I'm still going to check it out.
You know nothing of my work.
Looking forward to it. Also want to give a shout out to Swamp Thing #12. I definitely fell off of this book, but now that it's 12 of 16. So it's a season 2. I should be able to go back and probably pick up quite a bit of this.
Yeah.
Probably okay. So I should do that. And then, of course, the thing I'm probably easily the most excited about that's coming out this week is Saga #58. Written by Brian K. Vaughan with art by Fiona Staples. We're back, baby.
We're back. So, okay. Spoilers here on out for just 2 pages of Amazing Spider-Man. I haven't read the whole series.
So we'll give you a chance.
I haven't read the whole issue yet. So, but I want to preface it by saying, like, normally we don't do this. And I want to really, like, stress the fact that, like, I'm not a big fan of spoilers and I don't like leaks and I don't believe in them. But also, like, you know, when it comes to this kind of thing, number one, we're going to talk about it if it's like that kind of big. If it was a leak for a book that had like under 30,000 like readers, I'd feel remiss in doing that because I don't want to spoil a book or hurt it. But Amazing Spider-Man #1 is going to sell whether I talk about the last 2 pages or not, and no one has to worry about it. Like, nobody's going to be worried about it. And they're not doing... And
please, by the way, don't put spoilers into the chat because you still need to give people a chance to get out of here. If we're not giving spoilers yet, don't give spoilers yet.
Yeah. And that's not the spoilers that you think. And that's why I'm actually seeing different ideas for spoilers. I'm like, good. Nobody really knows. It's not really out there yet. It's not as prolific.
Mm-hmm.
But
by the way, apparently Bob Quinn did Way of the X. And I really like the look of that book. So hooray.
Yay. The logo?
No, the artist for X
cool.
for Knights of X is the same as who did Way of X.
But yeah, man. So Amazing Spider-Man #1 is coming out. It's from Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. A lot of people are like, we're upset to see John Romita Jr. doing art. We're going to talk about this book in depth when I read the damn thing.
Yeah.
But again, I don't believe in piracy, and this is one of those things where it's like the 2 pages were spoiled on like Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't download the book. I didn't know if it was available or not, but I saw those.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. The last 2 pages seem to indicate that there is going to be a big major upheaval change for a supporting character. And it feels really like deliberate and borderline vindictive. And there was a piece of promotional art that indicates what might be involved, which was Peter going one way and Mary Jane going another way, despite the fact that the entire Nick Spencer run was kind of bringing them back together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I think the last 2 pages of this issue, from the leaks, and this is only extrapolating from the leaks, is that I feel like there's something going on here. And it's a kind of thing where it shouldn't. But the comic book industry is so small and insular that like it can. So the context for this is that Mary Jane will have been revealed to have had 2 children with somebody else sometime between the pages of Spider-Man. And these kids are like years old, and so there might be an indication that like, and I don't know the context. That's the other thing. That's the real problem with leaks. But I want to talk about this like bigger concept. Which is why we're bringing it up in the first place. But we'll talk more in depth about it next week because that issue comes out this week. But Mary Jane had 2 kids with somebody else. And we've seen what happens when you do that with like a major Spider-Man love interest, that she had kids with somebody else, and that they would react. People talk about Sins Past to this day, and it's a 10-year-old story. So I guess like it worked, right? But in this case, they're 2 children who are like 8 and 10, something like that. They're children, but they're old enough to have been around for a while. And Mary Jane kept them a secret or whatever, or maybe it was during their break, or we don't know when one word happened.
It seems very out of character.
Yeah, very, very out of character.
She wouldn't have
disclosed that information.
Or taken responsibility
for them.
Not gone and done that Mysterio story.
Yeah, exactly.
She definitely did that.
Yeah. And then there's other spoilers, not spoilers. There were teases about like the fact that like Moira is going to be involved with Mary Jane and stuff like that. I couldn't care less. It is so beyond my interest at this point. Like what they've done to Moira, how far away it came from what Hickman was clearly indicating, and how it's involving books that like I read. but not anymore. But yeah, it's really weird, and it could be like a misdirect.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I'm perfectly willing to date this episode and make it completely not evergreen as it is already, by saying the whole thing, everyone's outrage, all the speculation, it's all fake, and it's all just a misdirect. Or maybe they're artificial life forms, or they're the holograms, or implanted memories, or something.
There's some sort of clone thing going on here.
Right. But like that their mom, that she is a mother, and that they're hers.
Maybe she's maybe they're adopted.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they were from this guy. He had somebody, and she just ended up being their mom. They call her mom, but one of them looks exactly like Mary Jane.
Right.
So, but here's what I think. If we can believe it, and if it is what's going on, I think that it comes from a place of like embarrassment and retaliation. And what do I mean by that? I think that Nick Spencer had a different ending in mind for his Spider-Man run. And I think that the hobbled together, rushed, non-indicative of his talent ending suggests that. I think that how the Marvel Dark Ages book, that last issue was just 6 issues crammed into one. Because Taylor's like, bye. Not indicative of his writing. Like, just not what you'd expect from Tom Taylor. You would expect, he just crammed a bunch of issues into one issue and wrapped it all up and said happy trails. Nick Spencer's book was damaged as a result of decisions made and setups that were not paid off. I believe that either Nick Spencer believed he had or tried to circumvent approval for undoing One More Day during his run. All conspiracy theories. This is my tinfoil hat. I don't want anybody to take this as gospel. I don't want anybody to think this is like what's happening. I know I talk to comic book creators, and I have no advanced knowledge of this, and I swear that is not the case. I don't have any information about that. But I believe, in like a kind of conspiratorial way, that Nick Spencer tried to undo one more day. And I think that editorial at Marvel is so lax and so hands-off, and seeing the behind the scenes on certain other elements of the comic book or ancillary comic book industry, I believe that's the case. It's so hands off that by the time they found out he was going to do that, they like pulled the rug out from under him and changed the gears severely. And I think that it could have been bad enough that they disrupted his run and made the run bad as a result, or made it not satisfying as a result. But I think they were so angry and embarrassed by being so asleep at the wheel that they could have undone that decision, that they then cast a bunch of writers to run Spider-Man for a little while as like a kind of audition period to be like, who's going to write Spider-Man? And I think Zeb Wells pitched an idea that was so antithetical to the Spencer run. That's like, there will be no way to undo One More Day after I'm done with it. And they went with that one as a way of being like, like you not only are going to do a run that will sell Spider-Man, but you're also going to stick it to the previous run and also future-proof Spider-Man from that ever happening again, because we'll be damned if we hire more editors or be more aware or more alert in our editing process. Like I think that there's like something going on there where it's like this really petty, angry reaction where they're like, so? No.
Okay.
Because I think it's connected. I think it's like, yeah, I believe that Nick Spencer's ending was going to undo One More Day, and I believe that they didn't know what they were doing until like the last 6 issues, and they went, oh, change it.
So, okay, here's a question for you. Are these kids the same age? Or is one clearly older than the other?
I think one's older than the other.
Okay. Let's say, is there any way they're his?
Right.
Like she was like, I can't tell him.
I mean, that could be a thing.
Like, I cannot. Like maybe she has like a cousin or doesn't she have some sibling?
She has a niece.
Does she have a sister?
She has a sister, Gail.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a sister and a niece. Both of whom could have children.
Does she look like either of these people?
She looks like her niece. Her niece looks like a thinner, befreckled version of herself.
But I was just gonna say, like, she has other family that these kids could be living with. In theory, that like nobody sees anymore because everyone forgot they exist.
Well, and Gale has children.
Okay.
Like multiple children.
Okay.
Because she had children out of wedlock, or no, she had like a shotgun wedding basically.
Right.
Before Mary Jane even like met Peter.
Right. I'm just trying to be the silver lining here because I'm sure you're correct, but I do want to just be like, what if they're his? Right. What if she was just like, if it was at a point in their relationship where she's like, he can't do this.
Yeah.
And
well, like, that is one more day.
And that, I know.
That's omit. Omit was,
I know.
We can't have children. Yeah. And she's like, so you'll never have
But they
them.
might love that.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's also even more.
It's damning, but it's damning in a loving way. It's something that you can come back from inevitably.
Yeah, I guess so. But it goes from Spider-Man being married, aging him, to severely aging him.
Right.
Like that makes Spider-Man not only. See, they were worried about Spider-Man being a divorcee when they were trying to unmake the marriage.
I know.
But now he's a deadbeat father.
He's not a deadbeat father.
No, but like the audience doesn't care.
No.
Like the audience doesn't understand nuance or subtlety. They're not going to want to just like, they're not going to say it that way. Spider-Man didn't really make a deal with the devil, but that's what everybody said. Like, that's not the devil. And he made it to save somebody. He's not a monster, but that's not how everybody took it.
Right.
And they're not going to take this lightly either.
He wouldn't know though. He's
right,
like,
but
it's
like
Anakin.
He should have. Right. It's like Anakin. Yeah. But it also would make it so that Mary Jane would be irredeemable to the audience.
I think
they didn't buy her in omit.
No, here's the thing. It makes her irredeemable to the audience until a really talented writer comes along and makes it not.
Right, but what are the odds of that happening?
They could be pretty good. Like if they let that happen, you left the door open that someone come in, and trust me, they will convince you that like she did everything for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
And if he can, and listen, if you're a fictitious character, Peter Parker can forgive Mary Jane, then you can too.
Right, exactly. Well, and that's what they're hoping for. That's what they want. Like, that's why they wrote omit.
I know.
Because they were like, oh, well, I'll just take everything that the editor or the editor-in-chief wanted and have Mary Jane say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you have to make it come from her character. And like...
Well, but she hasn't had a character in like 10 years. And I'm not saying that
that's really what happened here. Like, you got... Spider-Man has history with, what I just described. He's got history with clones.
Yeah.
He's got history with like... was it her or was it the clone? Who had the miscarriage?
She did.
Yeah. Did she really though?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like originally it was that Norman swapped it with a dead baby, which is like horrific. But
right.
Yeah.
Like these characters have had really weird histories in terms of children.
Yeah.
And people like looking like them but not being them.
Right. No, totally. Yeah. No, that's fair. It's just. It is in the other thing is now that's all the tinfoil hat theory stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, doing that is indicative of a full. This is the kind of thing that Dan Slott must clap his hands and fall out of his chair laughing over, because it is in every way that approach to comic book storytelling, which is a belief that I don't subscribe to, which is if your audience is angry, they are engaged.
Yeah, no, it's not the right thing to do.
And I'm like, I understand, like, why do people accept dragging Matt Murdock through the mud, but they don't like it when it happens to Peter? Right? Like, and I think there's actually, it's twofold as to why that is, but part of it is because, like, for Matt, it's a redemption story, and he's a glutton for punishment. Like, for Peter it's very much an interpretation if you believe that Peter Parker needs to suffer to be interesting. Especially since most of the audience who's writing comics now grew up on a married Peter Parker who only suffered when Venom showed up.
Yeah.
But editorial doesn't even remember, like, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking like, well, no, we're thinking of like Archie Andrews' love triangles and stuff. And I'm like, dude, that's 50 years ago. Like, we're not talking about 20 years ago. 20 years ago was almost when One More Day happened.
Right.
Like 20 years ago, as fun as for J. Michael Straczynski, creator of Babylon 5's run on Spider-Man, not Roger Stern.
Right.
So
I want to talk about a couple of other things.
Please, yeah.
Before
we wrap up.
Before we wrap this up. One, can we just talk about the fact that this is a quote unquote leak? Okay, because it's like it's a leak.
Yeah, someone took photos with their phone of a book they were given in confidence.
Right, in confidence. Now, I'm still going to do this leak, right? Because like I absolutely think that someone could have just done that because they're like, holy crap, look at this shit,
Yeah.
right? But I think also it could be two other things
Two
as
other
well.
possibilities.
Two other possibilities. One, Marvel's like, you know what's gonna get asses in the seats for this book?
Right.
That.
Yeah, because people are already kind of pissed. Like people, I love John Romita Jr. on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now I don't think that John Romita Jr. is at his best period right now,
right?
As it was,
but they like, already know that it is a controversial choice, and that could turn people off.
Yes,
and as much as this will make a lot of people go like, I don't want to read this series, there are enough other people who go like, I have to pick this up.
Yeah,
and it's a huge issue. It's gonna be $6.
Yeah,
so like they might have been like, I want you to go and find out.
I want this to be the number one book of the month. Yeah.
So like it could just be like literally like, I don't care, I want this to happen.
Well, it's also coming out against the death of the Justice League, and the debut of the Dark Crisis.
Right,
so
right. So they might have planted this. Two, I guess there's really three possibilities. The second possibility is this one I sincerely doubt. Someone was like, have we gone too far?
Let's find out. You mean like somebody at a senior editor at Marvel was like, I know we all agreed on this, but like, let's
now that I'm seeing it,
I kind of don't like it.
I'm kind of worried.
Let's see what the audience says before it comes out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And then three would be that this could have also been planted out there to soften the blow.
Yeah.
Because now you've already reacted to it.
Right. So now you'll just buy it and read the book.
And you'll just
maybe
read the book,
you'll think about, it won't be such a shock, even though it's clearly made to be a shock.
Yeah.
And you'll just read the comic and maybe enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's likely to happen.
I'm just saying, like,
that's a kind of
like if it was planted, which I don't know. We don't know. Like,
right.
it probably is because, like, seriously, if someone did have that book, I could absolutely somebody's taking a picture of that. Like, that doesn't surprise me at all. But also, marketing is going to do what marketing's going to do.
Yeah.
I know there's also another component to this. There's a lot of like stuff about Moira out there.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that at all? Because I am less educated about this.
Just like Robot Moira is going to crash the Hellfire Gala and take over Mary Jane and use her body. And then it's going to like maybe it leads into like the dark web miniseries event thing that's happening.
I saw somebody mention that like this book says something about like 6 months, like it's a 6-month time jump.
Yeah.
So has the Hellfire Gala happened already then?
I don't know.
So like,
I don't know anything about it. All I know is what I saw.
Is it MJ? Is it Moira?
Right. Yeah. Like, is it Moira actually?
She's like, I need a redhead.
Right. And it's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird time. And yeah. And a weird bunch of decisions. I
feel like
all
if
around.
Hickman were here, that would not be happening.
No, that would not have happened with Hickman. Hickman has nothing to do with it. But yeah, no, but that Moira thing would not. Well, Moira would not be a friggin' robot. So that's what's happening. Joseph Canella. Well, major yikes. That definitely destroys my interest in the book, especially after Beyond's ending. Can we please get a new Spider-Man editorial? You know, I will say this. I don't, because I'm not in the business of making demonizing creators or editors or anything like that. I know that Nick Lowe is a beloved friend and editor, and I've seen his work before, and I've read his books, and as I understand, he's a stand-up guy, and it's a hard job being editor of a book that everyone imagines themselves as the protagonist for. And that's really the thing, right? Like, like everybody thinks they're Indiana Jones, and I think everybody who reads Spider-Man thinks they're Spider-Man. And when Spider-Man like stubs their toe, they're mad that their toe is stubbed. And so, like, before you name names and pick people, like I can talk about editorial, like it's this phantom cloud, and I can talk about like conspiracies and decisions, and but these are decisions made by business people who are trying to sell comic books at the end of the day. And yes, I do believe they should keep their personal shit out of it, but I'm never asking for anybody to get fired, and I'm never asking for anybody to be demonized or attacked or bullied. And talking about them is very different, I think, than inciting people to lose their shit over this. And I also believe that, like, Nick Lowe, if we're going to name names in terms of who's being involved and who people are targeting at this point, before it was Joe Quesada, everybody was mad at Joe Quesada, Dan DiDio, Nick Lowe, Dan Slott, everybody was mad at whoever it was that they could name.
I think you could be mad at Joe Quesada.
Joe Quesada brought his personal shit to the table, but at the same time, it's the editor's job to take the shit, to take the heat. They make good and bad decisions, and they make many decisions that you never even see them make. And it's DiDio is responsible for making sure that comics came first at DC Comics. People don't think about that. You know, they think about like his personal baggage that he brought to the table. Like, and I think that an ideal editor doesn't do that. Doesn't go like, I think Dick Grayson sucks and he should go away. You know, it's like, don't do that. You know, but your philosophy on comics is sound. I believe that Nick Lowe does a good job with what he does and how he does it. And I believe that he doesn't deserve nearly the flack that he gets. That he can be making decisions that you might really hate. You never even will know he made. But he also is probably making good decisions that you don't know about. And it's just from the lack of information. We only have part of the picture because there's so much, like, I don't even call it transparency. It's opacity when it comes to looking through the internet, or looking at the comic book industry through the internet. And it's like, you don't know what's going on, but you have an incomplete picture about what's going on from what you glean. And I try to give people as transparent an opportunity to understand how the comic book industry works through my lens. But again, I'm not in the comic book industry and I don't have all that access. And I do have like a working knowledge of what happened, what came before, what's going on now. But like, again, it's only my interpretation and it's only through a lens of a partially assembled photo. So before we pick names and start hurling tweets or emails and stuff like that, you know, remember that these are fictional characters. This is a fictitious situation. These are not real, and these are meant for entertainment purposes. And the absolute best way to say you don't want something to happen is to not buy it. End of story.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do for your own personal psyche, for your own personal development, for your life, for your soul, for your brain, is to buy a book you hate and continue to read it.
Right.
It's why I don't really watch Star Wars. You know what I mean? Well, because I don't wanna.
Right. For some people, it comes down to they're a collector and they I have to have them all.
But then don't read it. Just buy it, put it in a bag, and put it in the coffin.
But then there's other people who, like, I hate using this term, but like it really is a FOMO thing.
Yeah. Fear of missing out.
You're gonna miss out on the thing that, like, oh my gosh, it turned around, everybody's talking about it, and I didn't know about it.
Exactly. Like, you know, and that's a big element to being a comic book fan. Yeah, you're gonna be okay. These books are worthless until they're not, until they are again. And like, buy them after the reality is you don't have to pre-order them.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy them now. You can wait, go to a comic book store later, a month or two from now. This book will not be $6. I'll tell you that. Unless it is, you know, and that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
But like, honestly, if you find yourself getting too worked up about it, best case is to just drop it. The Captain Coon, to be fair, unlike with Gwen, there was a long period of Spider-Man comics in the late 70s, early 80s that Mary Jane was just not in. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's mostly where Black Cat came from.
Right.
You know? Dante Cook, Sal and Tiffany, did you know that Angela featured in a comic in 2020 called Avengers Forever by Teenie Howard? Remember her? Marvel should just sell her back to McFarlane out of respect to her fans. Well, McFarlane never owned Angela.
Yeah.
She belonged to Neil Gaiman, but I do understand the mentality because the reality is Neil Gaiman never used Angela for anything other than a McFarlane product,
right?
Which is Spawn. I do wish Angela was in Spawn, but I don't read Spawn anyway, so I don't really care. And I think it's kind of funny that Angela's in the Marvel universe. For me, I think they should license the Spawn image from Marvel should license the Spawn image from McFarlane so she could wear the Spawn earrings. So it's just like, no, she came from another universe where she hunted Spawns and now she lives here.
She's here.
Like, I think that making her Thor's sister and stuff is dumb. I think it's just like, go for it. Scuba J, Matt Murdock is treated with respect. Peter isn't, and at a certain point after the last few years will make people rage quit and permanently quit. Well, they haven't yet.
No, to me, you know, like whenever we talk about Spider-Man, it feels like there's like clearly there are people who are making decisions like you were talking about. So like, again, I'm trying not to name names, but the fact is, it's like there's people that are making decisions, right? And they're like, I want it to be like this because it's what I remember.
Yeah.
However, then you also have the other arm of it where they're just like, I don't know if you know this, but like people really like the Mary Jane Spider-Man dynamic, and it's proof positive in the movies.
Well,
like, and you know what I mean? Like,
every spin-off book they make, he's married to Mary Jane.
Right. But it's like, you know, you have at least 6 movies.
Yeah.
That have a dynamic between a Spider-Man and a Mary Jane.
Yeah, or an
MJ, right? Yeah. Like, and people really treasure those relationships, right? And it's like, so you have that. So like the overall population who
everyone else
knows about that, like Spider-Man's meant to be with Mary Jane, right? Like that's what they're like, that's what it's supposed to be. Unless you were an Amazing fan and then it's supposed to be Gwen, but that actually works. Like it works perfectly. And we would have eventually probably met his MJ.
MJ was cast. It was Shailene Woodley from those other movies.
Oh, really?
She was cast for Amazing Spider-Man 2. They have scenes, but they cut them out because they were like, oh, it's too crowded.
Okay.
Too many goblins.
But you know what I mean? Like
that,
like for the general public view of Spider-Man, that's the relationship.
Yeah.
Right. And so like they know that too.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
so they know that they can like dangle the carrot and tease you a little bit about it.
Yeah. So it's like this weird, like Spider-Man lives in two worlds now. Like Matt's got his fans.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're not so big that it influences the bottom line.
Right, but I was gonna say like Matt's like fans love Matt for Matt, right? And like Matt's been very fortunate to be gifted with such a great creative team as of late. But like, you know, there isn't like this like issue where there's like a couple of folk who are like, I remember Matt Murdock in this very distinctive way.
The closest thing is like Karen Page, and even then, like it's not enough.
It's not quite the same, right? So it's Spider-Man lives in like two worlds right now.
Yeah. And
the only people who suffer are, I think, most people at this point, because and here's why. Because it's like the fans who want Mary Jane and Spider-Man to be back together, you're gonna suffer, right? The fans who don't really care and they just want a good Spider-Man story,
you're gonna suffer because you keep getting teased about it.
Or you're not getting anything consistent because there's like this push and this pull going on.
Yeah, like if you were a big Carly Cooper booster, you probably really don't like Spider-Man because they pushed her for a while and then she turned into a goblin and left.
Yeah.
And got replaced by his ex.
Yeah.
Like, as far as you're concerned, you
like,
hate Mary Jane.
Like, what the hell's going on?
What's going on? You're never going to get Carly back either. And if you're a Black Cat booster, you're never going to get that back together. You know, like, no, he's never going to be with anybody.
Right. Like, you just, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just a weird time.
You poisoned the well, I think.
Is that a joke?
No.
Because Zeb Wells is...
Oh, the Zeb Wells? Dante Cook, Teenie Howard also did a really kick-ass job on the current Catwoman run. Never read Catwoman until now, so I have faith in her handling of Angela. Angela solo book by Howard would be epic. Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I mean, they could just put Angela in Knights of X.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Right? Make her a mutant. Moving on. Devin Wilson stopping in to show some love. Keep up amazing work. Thank you,
so
Devin.
much.
Appreciate you being here. And, okay, Quincy Slefos... Cleophas Jenkins. Hello, Sal. Congratulations on your CBR gig, and Tiffany, fingers crossed for a Gun Devil Disney Plus series.
Fingers crossed.
Right?
It's coming.
What are they talking about? Check out twitch.tv/ComicPop and watch Tiffany play video games.
It's basically the greatest character you're never going to meet.
Trash Cam missed when y'all went live. Hope you guys had a good day. Catch you on the rewind. Thanks,
Thank
Trash.
you so much.
Adam Thenhouse just finished Immortal Hulk. Are you going to complete the arc on back issues, keep them lights on, but not now? The glow from the arcade is pretty dope. I agree. Thank you. No, I don't think so, but we'll see. Maybe, but I sincerely doubt it. Hrishi Venkatesh, if you do a back issue on Hellfire Gala 2021, any chance you guys could do it all dressed up to the nines? Also, RIP, cool, Hawks and Pox Moira. I wouldn't be too sure. She could always come back. I think there's like 12 of her now. But yeah, as far as Hellfire Gala, what do you think?
I mean, I would definitely dress up.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I could get the guys to do it. Maybe Ben.
Definitely Ben.
Maybe Ben. There was a comment in the chat that just said, you know, Ben wants that Black Cat Spidey hookup. I'm like, no. Ben wants that.
He wants that Ben and Black Cat Spidey hookup. He needs Spider-Man to not be interested in it.
Spidey, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Dante Cook, I'm sorry, I'm not Avengers Forever. The book was called Strike Force. Thank you very much for that clarification. Citizen JP, what's up, Sound Activity? Hey, speaking of X-Men, I got Hickman's Dawn of X hardcover in the mail today. At least that's pretty cool. Hope you have a great rest of the day. You too, Citizen. Thank you very much. And a good pickup. Yeah. Joseph Canella, fair take. I only blame editorial based on the leaked letters page, as it seems designed by them for outrage. Either way, congrats on CBR. Can't wait.
Yeah, I think it's fine to blame the entity of editorial.
Oh yeah, and you can blame decisions they make, but don't make it personal. Don't take it out on them.
Like one person, because you don't know in that, like, sometimes one person's the mouthpiece, but maybe they're like, I want to keep my job.
An editor's job is to take the hit.
Yeah.
Take the hits. So it could be Zeb Wells being like, fuck him.
Yeah. Now, if someone if a specific editor comes out and says like, no, that's me.
Right. Like Joe Quesada did. Like Joe Quesada did that.
Don't come after them because they're human beings. But then you could be like, I don't like the decision you made.
Right.
Like, then you know for sure that I don't like that decision.
That's true. But listen, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and visit us on twitch.tv/ComicPop for more. If you haven't already, you should definitely click the notification bell so you know when we go live. And of course, go to youtube.com/ComicPop for back issues and shorts. We'll see you guys next time with an all new episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching.